Not yet. It was not like from a news station even or anything. I don't know.
He's playing it. But I don't think they watch him as much.
But we have okay, everybody. Sorry about that. We, I guess they were not fond of the Bollinger case video, so they took us down. So I apologize about that. I didn't think it would be a problem since it was a YouTube video, but I guess they were not a fan of that. So, but I appreciate everybody coming back in. We kind of let people come back in. I guess we won't play that video. So, thank you everybody for coming back, coming over with us.
We're going to try to show that picture of the ledge.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up. You're kind of watching the behind the scenes. I'm trying to pull up videos, some historical photos of the ledges and stuff, and the at exit 49. So bear with me while I'm sitting at the main computer while Ellie is taking a break. You'll have to see me setting stuff up. So.
Crazy.
Sorry about that, guys. Not sure if you heard me or not, but they took us down because of the video. But we're working on it, so I appreciate y'all coming back in here. Again, I didn't think it would be an issue, so but I guess we live and we learn. And I'm pulling up exit 49, and what I was going to show is I saw some interesting pictures while we were watching the video of the exit of all how the vegetation's changed with it. So that's what I'm trying to pull up now, show you how much more the vegetation is now than it was.
Still not unmanned.
But still, it's not crazy unless the guy was wearing a ghillie suit or something.
Which we know he was supposedly wearing.
Which he wasn't supposedly, unless he had it stowed somewhere. So we'll see. I mean, this is. The scanner was quiet that whole time. So let me go back.
Make a play there flat with the negative contact.
What was that?
Hey, on.
I didn't hear what it said.
I heard negative contact.
The negative that was a call for negative contact for something. I didn't catch the whole thing.
They didn't make contact.
Yeah, and we're working on adding me into so I won't be here with purple hair for
And a
y'all.
dress.
Even though I think I look quite lovely with the purple hair on camera. So
More people start coming on.
we may start coming on camera as well. We're still getting our setup done. So we're getting our setup done. When we do, we'll probably come on camera as well. So here you can see the historical photos. I'm on to the. Let's see. Let me go. I'm gonna go up the road a little bit. Let's see. A little bit more. Yeah, Allie's putting the baby down, so she'll be back. You won't be stuck with me too long. She's far better. Like I said last night, she's far better at it than I am. So, but you won't be stuck with me too long. I prefer being the the co-host behind the scenes with the technology than I do being on the main mic. So here we see this is looking. Apparently, this was the direction he shot. If you look back towards the overpass, if you'll let me, the overpass is back that way. So this is the area near where he shot. You can see it's pretty heavily vegetated now, but it's not. It's not crazy vegetation. I mean, it's doable. So, thank you, Jeff. I appreciate the the support. I need all the help I can get. I mean, it's thick for sure, but it's not crazy thick. I mean, so this is you see exit 49 right there. So I guess he shot off an overpass. So I guess that he was on that overpass there, maybe. So let's go back and look how it's changed. Oops. So that's in July. And you see in September of about this time last year, it was thicker. It was still thick, but not as thick as it is now. And we'll continue to go back. This is in 2022, and it's thicker there, of course, because this one 2022 is in July, so that's in the summertime again. One before in 23 was in September, so it was starting to become fall, so it was starting to thin out a little bit.
I can play. I found that clip of the stop yelling at me.
This is a fall of 21, but here we go in November of 2018. There's a vast difference in the vegetation. I don't know why it got so grown up so quickly after 2018, but
I can turn up the volume on here, and we can put it on the speaker. I found that clip of it stop yelling at me from dispatch.
so we can see but that's what it looks like at that exit. So what Allie's gonna play. That's just kind of a reference point of what it looks like at that exit. Let's see. I was gonna go back one. It's always been fairly thick there. So Allie's gonna pull up, since there's not a lot going on the scanner. Allie's gonna pull up a funny clip from, we played it last night, but it's kind of funny of a dispatch call that we think y'all might like.
Need a medic. We've been calling for a medic. My guys is working on the victim.
I got the medic and I'm dropping the 13. Stop yelling at me.
We're Victor. We need a medic. We've been calling for a medic. My guys is working on the victim.
I got the medic and I'm dropping the 13. Stop yelling at me.
So apparently she wanted that guy to stop yelling at her.
So that's a segment we're gonna do.
So that's a segment that we're going to do here in a little bit. Go around and see what we can find, some funny stuff.
And explain like the kind of on patrol type thing.
And this is, I don't know how many of you are familiar with Live PD and On Patrol, but we're going to kind of, when things get a little slow, we're going to try to have our own patrol moments where we find funny stuff to play. But also, we're gonna do that whenever we're reporting on stories like this. We're gonna try to lighten the story up a little bit, because all this bad news in the world, we want to have some good news in the world as well. So that's just some of the stuff we're gonna try to do, and we'll try to go around and find some stuff to watch. I don't.
Transfer. Thank you. Thank you, mate. Bert. From 2313, the number's 8696, 8696.
I think she said something about a Mercedes. I didn't quite catch what she said.
She said 8696.
She said 8696, but I don't know what that is.
Could be an address for the last four.
Yeah, I don't know if that's somebody's the driver's license number or whatever it was. But. So we'll try to find stuff, dude, and try to find we can play videos or whatever, and try not to get struck in the process. But that was an interesting video. Going back to that, before it got struck, it was a very interesting story. It's a similar story to this one. I mean, it's just a mess. It's just, unfortunately, this happens quite a bit. So I don't know what causes people just seem to lose their minds. I mean, and we were talking about the last couple of nights that and when you have one person like this, when this happens, it like seems to set all the crazies off. They were saying today that all the schools, even though they're closed, they're still getting like violent threats of violence calls coming into the schools. So I mean, it's just, and they can't ignore them, because if they ignore them and something happens, then they're on the hook for ignoring them and something happening to the kids. But so it's a whole liability issue that comes in. It's just the crackpot stuff like this brings the crackpots out. And
Have you checked the flight radar?
we do have over here. We have a helicopter around Somerset. I was going to click in.
That was kind of active last night.
See what
Somerset was where we had the constipated guy in the bank.
Oh, this is that Air Methods helicopter. It came down from Lexington. Last night in Somerset's where they had a call about a constipated guy running around in his underwear at a bank. He'd had 2 enemas. 3 enemas, and he still was constipated. And now, while he was at the bank after 3 enemas in his underwear, I don't know if he was trying to make a deposit of a different type. And if he was, then the people in that bank don't want to be there when it happens. But Somerset seems to be kind of like Pasco County down in Florida. It seems all the weird stuff happen. Although London's not much, or Laurel County is not much better. We got people stealing mailboxes at 2:44 a.m. in Laurel County. So
Kids fighting with swords.
And kids fighting, teenagers fighting with swords. So we'll continue to watch the radar and listen to the scanner for a little bit. We may, like I said, we'll start looking around for other stuff here soon. So we still got this helicopter down here in Knoxville.
And if they're ever on like a site like Broadcastify or an app and they see something in another city or in their city or state they live in, they can always tell us and we'll try to find it on the scanner.
Yeah, if you ever are listening to Broadcastify, the online scanner, or and have a story kind of like the Bullinger case, you want us to cover, we will.
Or something happening in your town.
Or something happening in your town, we'll definitely, if you'll let us know, email us or send us something on X or whatever, we'll definitely look into it and see if we can find footage. And I'll look more into the terms of service for YouTube and see what videos we can play and what we can't play. But that one was kind of weird. I wasn't expecting that, but Yeah, Jeff. It does sound like that's the problem. He couldn't make a deposit, but the problem is if he did make a deposit while he was at that bank, they weren't going to be happy. It might have had to evacuate the bank.
Code Brown.
It would have been a code brown for sure.
And some people are seeing if he's dead with thermal and seeing, but you can explain that it'll show a different code.
All right, there we were. While we were off, or while that video was playing, we were looking up some stuff, and people were saying, well, if he's dead, the thermal won't work. Well, yeah, kind of, sort of, it won't work, but there's different types of radar that they're using. They're not just using FLIR and all types of thermal. There's also ways that, like LiDAR and stuff, that they can use to find even dead bodies. And again, I'm sure they have dogs running to a certain extent in these areas, because they seem to be focusing on certain areas. So, it's I'm sure they got some other stuff going. I just don't. Giving a little bit of background to people that don't know a lot about this case, he went down a trail near where he. Let me pull up on. He would go. This is a nature trail right here by that 49er truck stop. It goes. It's like I guess a hiking trail or like an emergency vehicle trail back into the woods and up in the mountain. He left his car. They found his car there after it happened with one flat tire, and they found his phone and the AR-15. He supposedly with a 2,000 rounds of ammunition that he bought that morning. They found 1,000 rounds of ammunition left over. He purchased 2,000 that morning. They found 1,000 in the car. So they found all that on that trail over there where it says Shell Tower Trace is about where the car. They found that. So the theory is they think he killed. The people say he killed himself, but if he was going to kill himself, why wouldn't he just kill himself there? I mean, was he going to run off in the woods? If nobody's pressuring him, why would he bother to run off in the woods to kill himself? He would have killed himself right there. I mean, I think if the only time he's going to kill himself immediately is if he's being pressured. So if he ran off and they haven't come close to him, why would he kill himself? I mean, if he was just had a death wish and was going to kill himself immediately after doing it, he would just done it where the car is at. So I mean, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense that he would run off and hide in the woods and kill himself, because it wouldn't really matter if he's going to kill himself. What does he care? They're going to find his body anyway. So, and they've thoroughly searched that area right around that exit 49. So I mean, I understand what people are saying, but the human mind doesn't work that way. I mean, if he's in the mindset to kill himself, he'll just kill himself because nobody's sitting there, and he's got the car and the gun and the bullets right there to do it. I mean, he could just sit in the car and killed himself. So I don't think he's going to go hunker down in the woods and then wait for a couple of hours and decide to kill himself in the woods if nobody's putting pressure on him. And from everything we've heard, they've not really come close. We've heard people say yesterday that they pinged his phone and stuff like that. There was local people that were saying that, and it turns out that none of that was true. And
Because they only found the battery.
Because they only found they didn't find his whole phone. I think they just found the battery for his phone, which doesn't make sense either, because if it's a newer phone or within the last 5 years, unless you break the phone, you can't take the battery out of it. So I mean, unless he had an old burner phone or something that he was using that he could take the battery out. Again, if he had all that, he was prepared to do this, and he's not going to sit there and kill himself immediately if nobody's putting pressure on him. Because if he's smart enough to bring an older phone with him that he can take the battery out of, so they can't locate him on his phone or whatever, then he would be. He's not going. He's looking to run. He's not looking to kill himself.
I wonder, this theory hasn't been said, but I wonder if he told that girl, show them these text messages from me, and they'll think I'm dead, and it'll give me time to escape.
Right. Apparently he sent text to his baby mama or ex-girlfriend or ex-wife or whatever she was. He sent a text that says that I'm going to go do a mass shooting, and I'm going to try to kill a bunch of people, and then I'm going to kill myself. Well, I mean, we think he may have sent that just to throw them off the scent, to think he was going to kill himself, to give himself more time to get away. I mean,
and she could have. I mean, the mother said he's been having some mental issues.
And the
but
mother.
Why wouldn't she have gotten him help? And I think that this girlfriend wasn't scared. I I think that they did this to take eyes off the family.
Right.
So he could have had a friend helping him.
So we don't know if he had a friend helping him that sent that text. If he actually sent that text, his family member sent that text. His mom said he had. His mother said he had some mental issues, which I don't know what that she's basing that on, because they haven't shown anything medically wise that said that he had any type of medical issues. And we heard people say that it was PTSD, but then you like the National Guard denied that he was ever even a member of the National Guard. You have people saying he was in the military. You have other people saying that they're in the military, saying that he was never part of the military. So you're just getting conflict in news every step of the way. So I mean, I know you can have PTSD from other things, and it doesn't just have to be military related. But I mean, they keep indicating it's PTSD from the military. But
he was never deployed. We know that.
But we know he was never deployed. Whether he was in the military or not, that's one thing. But we do know that he was never deployed. So it's like I said, this whole story is just you get conflict in news every path you go down. So.
And at least with like Cavalcante and Brian Landry, we knew information about their background.
With Cavalcante and Brian Landry, we knew information about the background. This guy, everything you pull up, he just conflicts. Like he apparently was a dispatcher, and I found a story where apparently when he was a dispatcher, he won some type of award. There's a picture of him getting an award when he was a dispatcher.
Right.
But then he seems to have gone off the ledge at some point. Now,
No pun intended.
no pun intended. I mean, and we don't know if that's caused by the ex-wife or girlfriend or whatever she is, family issues. We don't know what's caused him.
We don't know. He sent that text. It could have been sent from his phone, but we don't know that was him.
And I'm going to post that timeline later on in a little bit, and you'll see where it shows his prior. He had 2 prior arrests. One recently where a neighbor, I guess his dog attacked him or tried to attack his.
His dog tried to attack his kid.
The neighbor's dog tried to attack his kid, and I guess he threatened to kill the dog, and so the neighbor called the police on him, and he got charged with terroristic acts or terroristic threats. So he was in jail earlier this year, and they let him out. I think it was only a couple months ago, and they let him out on bond from that. So what caused him to do that? I mean, that seems to be some breaking point that caused him to go a little bit crazy. But also, you say he's crazy, but then it almost seems like he's planning stuff. Like we don't know if he sent that text or had somebody else send it. He seems to, he brought an older phone where he could take the battery out of it. It seems like he had stuff planned because they think he has a backpack.
But he had a very nice car.
He had a very nice car. I mean, he seemed to be, have a decent life. It doesn't. I mean, he just.
Looks very happy and normal.
He looks. In the pictures, a lot of pictures we see, he looks happy and normal, but at some point again, he just seems to switch flipped and.
But now his brother looks very similar to him, except his brother has more muscle tone.
Yeah, he has a brother that also looks very similar to him. Some of the pictures you see people identifying as Joseph Couch, it end up being his brother. But I mean, the brother also has kind of a sordid background. He's had 2 young children that have, apparently have died in his care. We don't know a whole lot of story and a lot of background to it. One of them was, how old was the oldest one? We know
2, and then one never made it to term.
Okay, so one of them was a miscarriage, and then one of them was like 2 years old, and he choked on a gummy bear. So, I mean, there's nothing weird. I mean, it's weird that happened, but nothing like he did anything nefarious to cause it to happen. It's just, the whole family just has a whole lot of stuff surrounding it, it seems like.
But with these other cases, we've had a little more information about the person and their mindset and their past.
Yeah, with these other cases like Brian Landry and Cavalcante, we had known more about their past than we do about Joseph Couch. He's sort of a mystery man, but I mean, again, he hasn't had much interaction with the police, or doesn't have much of a police record. I mean, and the stuff he had was certainly nothing like this. So. So I mean, again, all we can do is speculate until they catch him, because the family.
Yeah, so this article says prior to the shooting, she called to say that she claimed to receive a call or text that Couch texted her he was going to kill a lot of people. Well, try at least. And then it said, I'll kill myself afterwards.
Yeah, the indications from the articles that we've read is that the ex-wife or girlfriend let the police know that she got that text from him that said he was going to kill a lot of people, and then, or at least try to, and was going to kill himself. So
He said, I'll kill myself afterwards, ... Which usually you don't word it that way.
yeah, he worded it as "I'll kill myself afterward ... So
And she contacted them about those texts before the shooting.
and she
They
contacted.
went out to interview her at 1:30 on Sunday.
So she contacted the police department about that text before the shooting happened. They didn't bother to go follow up with it till 1:30 on Sunday, when this shooting happened Saturday night or late Saturday afternoon, like at 5:30, 4:30 in the afternoon.
But before they even interviewed her on Sunday, we knew about these text messages Saturday night.
Yeah, and we knew about these text messages Saturday night after the shooting happened, before the police ever bothered to go out there to investigate. It seems like a lot of the police have, and it's easy to be armchair quarterback and throw passes, but it seems like they dropped the ball a lot with the local police. That they overly investigate things that don't need to be investigated, and then they don't investigate stuff that does need to be investigated. So, all right. So Allie's fixing to come back on the mic, and you'll get back your better host.
I don't know about better. Maybe I got us struck. Very possible.
Jeff got us struck.
Dang it, Jeff. I told the world. Dots. Let's see. Flight radar. See, Tony comes on and breaks my flight radar.
How do I break flight radar?
I can't interact with it.
You gotta click on the one that says flight radar new.
Oh my lord.
Welfare check, 499 Boulder Drive, 499 Boulder Drive, break.
Welfare check.
Caller advisor, father lives there, his name's Gregory Andrew McElroy. She's not been in contact with him since July 29th. She's messaged him multiple times. Someone reads the messages, but no one responds. She does have dementia as well. Question welfare check.
So why is this woman calling for a welfare check at 11:33 at night, and she hasn't spoken to the person since July 29th? 7 days ago might have been a good time, especially if someone lives in that area. Aerotech Services has a plane out. Oh, never mind. They're going to Lancaster. Carry on. Mosey on by. We'll see. Tony and I were talking a bit about it a little bit before. We're going to see what happens around midnight and if the calls pick up. But we have some really fun segments planned tomorrow. If this is still all going on, which I'm sure it will be, we're still going to be covering this. But we want to see if we can maybe work on... well, we know we're going to do it tomorrow. We're going to go kind of like our live scanner feed and go around the country and see what kind of fun calls we can find. I'll go through the popular clips I could get on my scanner that I clipped tonight. And I can go back in the archives and see some calls from around the country. And I'll see what fun stuff we can clip for you guys. I like the fun dispatch calls. There'll be times where we'll listen into my city and I'll let them know about this. You know, if obviously there's something major going on, I would never call into dispatch and disrupt things. If it's my city and there's nothing going on, I'll show you guys how, like, we can talk back to the dispatch, and it's never anything bad. We're not, you know, harassing anyone. It's just some fun, lighthearted humor, and it makes the shifts go by better too. Sometimes, you know, like, I'll hear our police department go on and they'll do these radio check-ins, which they do through Laurel County too, usually around 1 a.m. before they start doing shift change at 2. And they'll do these radio checks. So we do that in our city too, and once their radio checks are done, I always feel bad for dispatch because nobody checks in with them. So I'll go on the radio and ask dispatch how they're doing, if they need anything. Not like I'd really bring them anything, but I mean, we just have fun, lighthearted stuff. We'll kind of do like an on patrol thing. We'll get some clips that we see online, like funny, weird, odd clips, and go around the country like that. We'll do, since tomorrow's Saturday, we'll do a sports check-in for, you know, college football and NFL and stuff like that. And then I'm going to try to think of, like, a game we can do. I'm good at coming up with ideas of fun things to try. And then I run it by Tony and see if it's, from a tech standpoint, how hard or difficult or easy it's going to be. But we'll try to figure some fun things out tonight. I think, like, a fun game, not like where we're playing a video game, but where we do, like, a fun kind of like mystery, like solve a mystery thing. I think that would be fun and interactive, and we can still have the scanner and the flight radars up for what's going on in Kentucky. But I thought it'd be kind of different and neat. We've talked about opening up a call line where people can call in. We're going to wait till the channel gets a little bit more popular. Which, the more these cases happen, and eventually people get bored with cases, people might stop covering it or make assumptions he's gone or dead. But we want to keep covering it. And once, you know, let's say they find him this weekend, we'll still be popping in for the news channel because there's so much going on in the U.S. and in the world in general. And things are only going to get crazier. Right now, all eyes are on the U.S. with this election. I don't think we're going to cover debates or election type stuff, but we might talk about it. And, you know, see, it's usually, I hope not, we all hope not, but it's usually that around this time when there's an election, things pop off and it gets to be mayhem everywhere. Hopefully that's not the case, but yeah, I think like a fun little like solve a mystery game we can do. Maybe what we can do is pull up a case and we'll do like those games that you can buy where they send you a packet in the mail and it's like a mystery and you have the evidence file and you've got the reports. I mean, it won't be as, those take like 4 hours. It won't be as long as that, but we definitely think like doing like a fun bringing up, okay, this is the facts of the case, and then we can try to compare it to this case that way or try to solve it. And if we don't say like any names, if we said Cavalcante, then we know what case we're talking about. But if we leave the names out and we leave out the areas, then it might be kind of fun to try to figure out what case this is. Just some of the ones that I've heard compared to this case are, of course, Danilo Cavalcante is the big one. Brian Landry. The guy we pulled up earlier, I don't want to say his name in case YouTube wants to take it down, but, you know, even that Beltway sniper,
out of Washington, D.C. That had some things that were kind of close to this. And maybe tomorrow we'll be on the camera. That might be kind of fun too. And instead of just having these AI characters. We found them. We thought it'd be good for now. And I think it'll be better for people to come in the channel and actually see us. Because, you know, we want y'all to get to know us. We want y'all to find friends in here. We want to make this a great community. And who knows? Maybe we'll kind of go around and see what other people are reporting on, even if it's not like some big, huge news story. Maybe something exciting and fun. We'll see. I'll be on that tonight. It's actually very quiet tonight. Very quiet. Now, there is a chance that it'll be like the other nights where at midnight it just pops off. We do have a medical helicopter up in Lexington again, but I'm guessing that's going to a medical call. But yeah, I see nothing. And, you know, at night like this, it would make sense to have... I don't expect helicopters to be up all night because of the cost of the fueling them and, you know, manning them, but you would think, like, they could section off little bits of the woods and have planes go up there at night. I don't know if it doesn't make that much of a difference anymore. Maybe earlier on that would have been a good idea. But especially when they came out and said, we're going to be searching during the day, and as soon as it gets dark, we're going to quit searching for the night and resume in the morning. I mean, he could very well have a cave or something he was staying in, or even there's so many campsites out there that if he had like a tent and camping gear stashed away, it could be easy, because he had 2 hours to get a head start.
There are railways that run.
Yeah, there's the railways, the rivers, if you had a kayak, ATV trails. And then, you know, if he had help, if he's not in the woods and he had help and got out of there, then he gone. I mean, so it'll be, it'll be interesting.
Really?
I don't know. I also, I mean, if he's traveling during the, or staying put during the day but traveling at night when they're not looking, you would think that'd be a good way to see, you know, that you could cover a lot of ground in the air and see if somebody's walking or see what's going on in the woods at night. But they never did look at night. They've always remained that they would search during the day. So I'm guessing they either have information and they don't want to say it because of either the investigation or because it could look bad, or they just don't know. Maybe they're as lost in all of this as we are. So we'll see. We will see. That would be awesome, Jeff. That would be really, really fun to feature. That's kind of right along the lines of what I was thinking, of something where we can bring in. I mean, dude, you're so incredibly talented, bro. Like I said, I can't even draw a tree. We were actually talking about that last night. Wouldn't it be funny if I could easily see me getting struck by YouTube for violating terms of service, because I was looking at the radar last night. We had like 3 different helicopters up, and I'm like, oh, let me circle it. Like, let me draw on the map with like my mouse and kind of show like the flight path and see if it could be easier for y'all to see the flight path. And I'm like, no, because there's 2 circles here and then the path went upwards. I know what that's going to look like, and I'm not going to get struck for pornographic images because I tried to draw a flight path on a screen. So I would definitely trust your work above any of mine. And yours is some of the best I've seen, period. So that was Jeff was talking about his comics.
I know,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
responded. That'd be great.
Remember when I showed you that?
Yeah.
We thought like a company published it, like someone paid a company.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so darn good.
That's what I said. Maybe he could even come on and help with it. And if he doesn't want to be on camera, I could create an AI character.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, you know, I'm sure Tony will reach out to you on Discord, Jeff, but yeah, y'all can figure out, you know, all that. And if you want to come on here, I mean, we're always looking for help. We've only got you and Bubble helping us mod, which we appreciate you guys. And by the way, we mentioned this to Bubble the first night, is we're gonna be creating merch, like, you know, Breaking News HQ News Team shirts, like, you know, for employees, like, and even having like media on the back, something cool. So once we get that shop up, which will be sometime early next week, you know, we want our moderators to pick out, you know, what gear they want and stuff like that to be part of the team. We'll have shirts just for team members and shirts for the public that they can get. But yeah, dude, you're so incredibly talented, Jeff. That would be very, very fun. And I know sometimes it is refreshing to step away from our comedy show, which I explained to people in the audience. I didn't give names, but, you know, I said I'm involved working with, you know the show, Jeff. Oh, you know.
Everybody knows.
Everybody knows. But, yeah, I mean, it's sometimes refreshing to get out of the Dabbleverse, for sure. And it's always like our home we can come back to. We know it'll always evolve. But this is just something a little bit different. And obviously, we love you more than a friend. Sorry, I had to bring in a Tukey reference, Dabbleverse reference. But no, we love you. We love the people that have been supporting us. The people that come in just to see what this is about. Hopefully they stick around and stay. This is something we're going to be doing for quite a while. And it's fun. I mean, we definitely are not as serious as we probably should be. But we all know Allie's not meant to be in a serious role. That just doesn't work out. So,
and we're serious when we need to be.
Right. I mean, we're serious when we need to be. Some calls that have come over the scanner that they've given out information that have been personal for a person having a medical call. You know, we keep that private. We're not making light of the situation at all. But at the end of the day, people still need to laugh. And that's just what we're trying to do. I don't know how well we're doing it, but, you know, that's one thing, is we're going to strive to get better and better for you guys. So, Jeff, I definitely think that's an awesome idea. I'm so upset with myself that I didn't think of that. But, yeah, that would be very cool. We'll definitely reach out to you tonight or tomorrow, and you and Tony can discuss that. I don't do anything technical except download viruses.
Sometimes I wish I didn't either.
I'm good at getting viruses. Really, they've been coming through my cell phone. I get something about a text that a package tried to get delivered, and I'll click on it and fill it out. I mean, not technical savvy over
Quite
here.
often you'll hear me screaming, "No, don't click on that."
But yeah, the world's a scary place, no matter how great.
Careful.
I think he said we found nothing but a rabbit in here, or a rapper. Now, if we're talking a rabbit, I don't know. If we're talking about they found a rapper, instead of saying, "Can the real Slim Shady please stand up?" Or we could ask old Joey C. Joseph Couch. Again, if you're on YouTube and listening, give it up, bro chacho. Step out. Go to a VFW hall. Sit and have a couple drinks. Talk to some people. Get yourself some help. I highly doubt he's on. But yeah, totally quiet tonight.
Yeah.
Totally quiet.
Unusually quiet, especially for a Friday night. I mean.
And I wonder, we'll check tonight, but I wonder if they didn't receive a tip and they shut down everything because they were looking a specific area. It's so strange. That really upset me when they took us off the scanner. I don't know. And there's no flights. Now, I don't know what happened. I kept looking on the news. Like we talked about last night, I wasn't expecting to hear anything on this. But last night, when there was kind of a lull in activity, let's see what this is.
Good. ITO for Silver Ford Ranger on the Parkway, headed towards Manchester, all over the road. Okay.
So last night when there was a lull, if you remember, we pulled back and I just noticed something odd on the flight radar last night. How I happened to notice this, I went over to my city and there was nothing. Nothing. So I looked at other major cities and I had Tony start looking at other major cities, like where a lot of international flights were, and all the flights were grounded or they were lined up waiting to come in. And it almost had a feeling, I didn't know if it was because we had just gone through past the anniversary of 9/11, but it was very, very weird last night that all the flights were grounded. Almost like they had a tip about something and they didn't want to scare the public.
That never was in the news.
And it never was in the news. Or maybe they had another computer issue like they had a couple weeks ago. We still have 2 helicopters out around Knoxville. I don't know if it's because it's the weekend and they're just, back out. Those are both Tennessee ones. Oh no, there's 3 in Tennessee. There's 2 in Knoxville. 2 of them are following each other, and those are both the Hart ones. And then there's another one going along I-40, and that's the University of Tennessee Lifestar. And those other 2 near Knoxville are those Hart ones.
I got a guy on Twitter talk about, this is from yesterday, but he's talking about apparently he has experience with training dogs while they're not using bloodhounds.
Oh, that'd be good.
So I'm going to come in there, so I won't mess your cursor up.
Alright, I'll move. Let you come over here.
No, you're fine, I can do it from here.
Alright, so Tony found something cool to show you guys. Hopefully it doesn't strike us down.
Yeah, we'll try not to get struck for sure. This guy, I found on X a guy that I guess he trains dogs in that area, and he's going over why he doesn't understand why they're not using bloodhounds. I haven't heard what they're using. Again, has not been a lot of details about what they're doing, and it's just weird. But anyway, so let me I'm gonna pull that up so I can show you this video. It's a pretty short little video he posted on his Twitch, or excuse me, X. Or excuse me, Twitter, not Twitch. I get those confused all the time. I say one when I mean the other. we were just talking about Scotty Pennington is a Kentucky State Trooper. How I crossed his eyes, or he has quite the set of crossed eyes. But he has become they changed. It was the sheriff's department that was doing more of the press conferences, and it changed over to that guy with the Kentucky State Police.
Well, the state police are the ones that holding the investigation because it happened on the highway.
Oh, it's okay. So they switched over to the state police because the state police it happened on the highway. So let's see now.
But it's not like highway patrol, it's just the state police.
This guy actually has a couple of good things I'll play for you. Yeah, they're all pretty short. So let's see. Here's the one I'm looking for. So let's see.
And if anybody in the chat, whether they're watching or not, if they ever want to come on the stream and join the conversation, we would love that.
Yeah, we would definitely. If anybody's in the chat that would like to come onto the stream at some point, just reach out to us. We'd love to have, we're not, it doesn't always have to be us talking. We'd love to have people share their theories. That's why we're going to try to maybe do phone calls at some point, but also if people want to come on the stream, yeah, definitely reach out to us. We'll gladly have you on. I mean, let's see if they'll let me.
Is the mic on?
Good. London, I'm gonna give you a van. You can know what 47 belongs on it. Break. Go ahead.
Yep.
1 George, Charles Henry, King, 29, King, 48 Edward, 207 180. Let me know if you need me 10-9.
I didn't quite catch with that. They didn't give a whole lot of details.
I think they were just checking in their location.
Spot register don't look like. That's the same thing I'm coming up with. I appreciate it. PR 34 on 1010.
I'm taking my meds.
I'm still working on getting you so y'all can see this. I knew I haven't done this one before, but I think I got it now.
But that's interesting, a point of view from somebody that actually works and trains with these dogs.
It kind of looks like he's in that area too. So let me. Okay, now I think I got it. Let me. Okay, so now let me go back in here. See if they'll let me interact with it. So I guess what I have to do is this.
1 to 998.
Okay, y'all have to tell me if you can hear this or not. I'm fixing to start it now because I'm having to do it from another screen. So. Oops. Let me go back.
1 to 998.
Yeah, so fifth
Can y'all
day
hear
on this
that?
manhunt, Joseph Couch, Kentucky, going down. Nothing that's been shared publicly in terms of big leads, and obviously he has not been taken into custody. I guess that there was a shooting in a horse cave, which is 150 miles away in Kentucky, by a Love's truck stop, unrelated, and they got that guy into custody, thankfully, last night. But and obviously people were concerned. I think that was actually the guy that they're looking for in terms of this near London, Kentucky shooting on the highway, Joseph Couch. And
Okay.
I think it's just one of those things. Like, again,
hold on,
I
let me
threw out the
restart
question. I haven't really seen a conclusive answer. Or
Let's do this.
yeah, so fifth day on this manhunt, Joseph Couch, Kentucky, going down. Nothing that's been shared publicly in terms of big leads, and obviously he has not been taken into custody. I guess that there was a shooting in a horse cave, which is 150 miles away in Kentucky, by a Love's truck stop, unrelated, and they got that guy into custody, thankfully, last night. But and obviously people were concerned. I think that was actually the guy that they're. Yeah, so fifth day on this manhunt, Joseph Couch, Kentucky, going down. Nothing that's been shared publicly in terms of big leads, and obviously he has not been taken into custody. I guess that there was a shooting in a horse cave, which is 150 miles away in Kentucky, by a Love's truck stop, unrelated, and they got that guy into custody, thankfully, last night. But and obviously people were concerned. I think. Yeah, so fifth day on this manhunt, Joseph Couch, Kentucky, going down. Nothing that's been shared publicly in terms of big leads, and obviously he has not been taken into custody. I guess that there was a shooting in a horse cave, which is 150 miles away in Kentucky, by a Love's truck stop, unrelated, and they got that guy into custody, thankfully, last night. But and obviously people were concerned. I think that was actually the guy that they're looking for in terms of this near London, Kentucky shooting on the highway, Joseph Couch. And I think it's just one of those things. Like, again, I threw out the question. I haven't really seen a conclusive answer. Are they implementing like bloodhounds from where the vehicle was left to try to trail him? And the longer this goes on, just like the concerns last night, this might lead to a second shooting somewhere else if he tries to carjack someone. And also, I think there's valid concerns being voiced. Glancing at sort of analyzing the social media posts about this, that the fact the guy worked as a 911 dispatcher, or he had a military background, was earlier apparently he pointed a gun at someone earlier, which is pretty much justification to take the gun away, right? Was he treated leniently, and is by law enforcement in those earlier encounters, that if they had treated it appropriately, could have prevented the actual shootings that happened recently. But moreover, is not trying to play backseat driver, Monday morning quarterback, but looking at the fact that he didn't put the bloodhounds on the ground there, and it seems like this has gone on 5 days now. And we've got someone who's pretty sketchy, and like I said, it could lead to a carjacking, or someone hasn't lost their life yet, but it could lead to someone losing their life. This guy's in a desperate state, and if they got they don't have him yet. The question I ask is Kentucky police dropping the ball on this in terms of their handling of this situation where we have a fugitive just on loose, and earlier did they drop the ball as well? And again, like, I'm not trying to be critical, but I think we're 5 days in. Bloodhounds, can they pull that resource if they don't have it from a different area, a different state, and put the bloodhounds on the ground, have drones flying overhead? What is the best practice action steps in this type of
also
you know,
be concerned with
fugitive,
the safety
potentially
of
armed
the,
and dangerous, you know, did some
of the
very
officers
crazy,
as well,
dangerous
'cause, you know,
things
that's
to
the
try to
whole
bring them in
OSHA liability
ASAP, this
thing.
type
I
of
mean,
scenario and case.
I understand they're police officers, but they can't put them in situations where, you know, things can go bad. So,
And we've had so many of these horrible incidents happen around the country, but we're usually given more of a background on that person, or more information comes out to the public.
right,
This is really, well, if we know things, we're not going to share them,
right,
and we don't know.
right. Again, this is a
But everyone's safe.
yeah. We don't. This is a background. We don't know a whole lot of background. That we don't know a lot about the background of this situation. So it's, you know, usually by now the national news has done a lot of background work on like the Landry case or
And we usually have like especially during an election year, people in office or running for office that at least say, oh, there's no place in America for this. This is senseless violence. Our heart goes out to law enforcement and the victims. Nothing. A lot of people don't know this even happened.
Can y'all hear me now? You should be able to. Let me know in the chat if you can. So the video, the audio was playing. I was trying to listen off my phone to hear, but apparently the audio was playing off of the.
Oh.
But I couldn't hear it on mine, so maybe it's paused or something on my phone. If you like, I could try. I can pull that video back up again. I didn't think it was. I didn't think it was working, so that's why I stopped it. I didn't want y'all sitting here with nothing going on. But I can. Let me go back into the screen. I'll pull it back up again. It's no big deal. Like I said, I thought it wasn't working. So I'll get it started. Then I'm gonna ask you if you can hear or not. Cause I don't have. When you do the streaming software, it doesn't play anything over your speakers. So. So we haven't got it set up yet, so we have like a monitor to hear stuff. So I usually run it off my phone to hear it as well. So
We don't have a frog in the background to help.
yeah, and we don't have a frog producer in the background to help. So or a discount Don. Let's see, video capture. No, that's
But at least our streams are already better quality than some podcasters that sit there and just drink beer on stream.
right. At least our podcast is doing better than some former comedians that do podcasts that sit there and drink Coors Light the entire stream for 3 hours and get blackout drunk. So we're doing better than that. So that's something at least.
We haven't had anyone actually leave the room they were in and then walk back into the room.
Right, we haven't told anybody to leave the room and have them actually get up and walk out of the room and then walk back in rather than getting out of the streaming software.
We have no cockroaches ran across. The worst we have is when I sneeze.
Right, our worst thing is when Allie sneezes. That can scare everybody in the neighborhood if you have the speakers up loud enough. Okay, I'm gonna try playing this video again. Y'all just let me know if you can hear it.
Yeah, so, you know, fifth day on this manhunt, Joseph Couch, Kentucky, going down. Nothing that's been shared publicly in terms of big leads, and obviously he has not been taken into custody. I guess that there was a shooting in a horse cave, which is 150 miles away in Kentucky, by a Love's truck stop, unrelated, and they got that guy into custody, thankfully, last night. But and obviously people were concerned. I think that was actually, you know, the guy that they're looking for in terms of this near London, Kentucky shooting on the highway, Joseph Couch. And I think it's just one of those things. Like, again, like, you know, I threw out the question. I haven't really seen a conclusive answer. Are they, you know, implementing like bloodhounds from where the vehicle was left to try to trail him? And the longer this goes on, just, you know, like the concerns last night, this might lead to a second, you know, shooting somewhere else if he tries to carjack someone. And also, I think there's valid concerns being voiced, you know, glancing at, you know, sort of analyzing the social media posts about this, that the fact the guy worked as a 911 dispatcher, or he, you know, had a military background, was, you know, the earlier, you know, apparently he pointed a gun at someone earlier, which is, you know, pretty much justification to take the gun away, right? was he treated leniently, and is, by law enforcement in those earlier encounters, that if they had treated him appropriately, could have prevented the actual shootings that happened recently. But moreover, is not trying to play backseat driver, Monday morning quarterback, but looking at the fact that they didn't put the bloodhounds on the ground there, and it seems like this has gone on 5 days now, and we've got someone who's pretty sketchy, and like I said, it could lead to a carjacking, or someone hasn't lost their life yet, but it could lead to someone losing their life. This guy's in a desperate state, and if they got they don't have him yet, the question I ask is Kentucky police dropping the ball on this in terms of their handling of this situation where we have a fugitive just on the loose, and earlier did they drop the ball as well? And again, like, I'm not trying to be critical, but I think we're 5 days in. Bloodhounds, can they pull that resource if they don't have it from a different area, a different state, and put the bloodhounds on the ground, have drones flying overhead? What is the best practice action steps in this type of fugitive, potentially armed and dangerous, did some very crazy dangerous things to try to bring them in ASAP, this type of scenario and case?
So I thought that was an interesting video, and he had another video I'm gonna play here too. I think he's in that area, or seems to be. So here I'm gonna play.
And they said that the only bloodhounds they brought in were from Illinois.
And actually, this video is interesting. So he covers a guy we were listening to earlier. It was local that Allie was talking about, that was saying he saw the guy out walking around and that had the gun on his hip. So he actually is talking about that guy that
The guy that wanted to collect the reward.
yeah, the guy, the fishing with Tate guy that's local there in London, Kentucky. So I'm gonna play this one for you too.
So Friday the 13th, search going on. Still, allegedly it's going on. I'm not in Kentucky. There is a guy I just saw in Kentucky, Tate, Fishing with Tate YouTube channel. Someone linked to it on the hashtag with regard to this Joseph Couch, fugitive in the woods near London, Kentucky. And he's saying some stuff local on the ground in terms of data, and that is interesting to evaluate. Now, I don't know if he's just making shit up, though, or not, but he's saying that a security guard saw this guy twice, and he ran off, and he's kind of in an area, there's a bunch of railroad cars. Now, maybe they're just doing something for clicks and sharing and making up shit for clicks that's not accurate or true. Maybe they're true. The channel that's sharing this only has like 4 videos. I guess it's a second channel or something like that. But he went around, interviewed a bunch of people, and they're all talking about how the schools were shut down in the area. And they say that supposedly this guy's phone has pinged a few times. I'm not sure where they're getting this information, though, because I don't see that shared by law enforcement formally or shared by any of the local news channels. Obviously this is sort of like news when you're looking at a YouTuber, right? But in terms of the ping of the phone, I thought he left his phone. But maybe he has a second phone. I don't know. You know what I mean? So I guess we're just kind of waiting for the smoke to clear on this, and hopefully more of those YouTubers I think are actually good, because sometimes I feel like keeping secrets isn't effective or efficient towards getting someone, or just towards if they have good intelligence and the guys in that area, I would like to know it. I would bring in Bortak is what I'm saying. The border, the elite group that got that Danilo Cavalcante in their tactical unit, and I think they have so many more apprehensions under their belt of people off of the road system. You know what I mean? In terms of, dealing with terrain and brush and just potentially an armed fugitive. This is something that they've already notched in their belt several times. Whereas typically, state police or county or city police in our country everywhere, I'm not picking on Kentucky, right? Typically they're more traffic stop oriented and road system oriented in terms of their structure and training and experience.
Did y'all hear that video? I thought I had the other screen up, but were you able to hear that one okay? Sorry about that. I didn't realize I didn't have the screen up, but it's yeah, well, I know you did because I heard it off my phone. Sorry, but so it was very interesting. So, but the guy has some good insights about about local stuff going on there. That again, he was basically pointing out, like we were pointing out earlier, that there's a lot of people just wanting to be celebrities out there. They're giving rumors and they're telling stuff that may not necessarily be true. So
15 minutes of fame.
yeah, they all want that 15 minutes of fame. So I did post on our channel the timeline video for anybody that wants to watch it. So feel free to go in and watch that whenever you have time to do so. It'll give you a little background if you're not as familiar with this case. It's not real detailed, but it's a kind of the what I would call the Cliff Notes version of it.
And
So
it'll go hand in hand with the games tomorrow.
and it'll go hand in hand with the games tomorrow. So the mystery games tomorrow. So I think we're going to call it a short night tonight. There's not a lot going on, and we've been going till 4 and 5 in the morning the last few days, along with doing our stuff during the day. So I think we're going to call it a night, but we'll be back on tomorrow.
Probably right around noonish.
Probably around noonish. So be able to just try to turn your notifications on, and that way you know when we come on. I'll try to update people in the morning. I'll try to schedule when we're going to come on in the morning.
If there's
Any breaking news, as we've been doing this entire time, if there's any breaking news with this, we'll still be listening to the scanner. And so, if anything happens, whether it's here or somewhere else in the country, or any breaking news that happens, we'll come on and start streaming. So, and we appreciate everybody watching tonight. Again, if anybody has anything they want us to talk about, just let us know. And we'll. Yeah, we're going to work on doing the fun mystery game tomorrow that we can do tomorrow, along with following this story and any other stories that are going on. So it kind of break up the dead space of it. So
And we can do a couple rounds of the game, so if they're not there, they can hopefully catch it later.
yeah, we'll do a couple rounds of the game. That way, if you're not there, you can catch it later or whatever. But we appreciate everybody coming in tonight, and we look forward to seeing everybody tomorrow.
And Jeff, we will reach out to him because we really would love to show some of his work.
Yeah, and Jeff, we'll definitely reach out to you this weekend we definitely love to show some of your work and like possibly work with those books like you were talking about. So I'll reach out to you on Discord this weekend. So again, thank you guys for being here, and I hope everybody has a good night, and we'll see everybody tomorrow. And like I said, we'll be back on if something happens. If not, I'll schedule a stream for tomorrow afternoon, and you should get a notification of it. Again, everybody have a good night, and we love our fans, and thank you everybody for coming in, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Breaking news right now. Turn the volume loud. Headlines top the charts. We inform your hearts. Breaking news, HQ, always here for you. Trust the word we share. News beyond compare. Stories fresh and bright, bringing truth to light. Every story counts. Watch the views amount. Breaking news, HQ, always here for you. Trust the word we share. News beyond compare. In the fast-paced stream, we're your trusted team. Facts we can't ignore, bringing you much more. Breaking news, HQ, always here for you. Trust the